Good evening and welcome to the Strategy of the Week tutorial for July 5th, 2013. My name is Steve Chappell, the Director of Educational Services here at VectorVest. The title of our presentation this evening is High CI Prospects, which is a fantastic little search. Let me see if I can pique your interest. Are you interested in an investment plan that has produced over 71% annualized rate of return since March 21st of 2003 and has done so on just over 57 trades per year on average, with only a 16 and a little over 0.5% maximum drawdown? If so, this is the Strategy of the Week presentation for you. This investment plan is so easy, anyone can do it. All you need to know is when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. Let's begin with the easiest part of those three segments, the when to buy. And to do that, let's jump right into the program. Here we are at the home page for VectorVest 7 US, and we'll begin the presentation today in the market timing graph. This is where we'll tackle the subject of when to buy. So to do that, I'll go right up to the top, click on the timing tab, and from here I'll select the market timing graph. Once in the market timing graph, we want to make sure that our graph layout is set to the VectorVest MTI layout, because the focal point for our when to buy and even a portion of our when to sell is going to be using our tried and true confirmed market up and down signals. So my first order of business is to add the signals to the graph. I'll come right down to the bottom and click on a button down here that says confirm calls. This will place the green and red triangles on the market timing graph for you. A green triangle indicates a confirmed up situation and the appropriate time to start buying stocks in this investment plan. A red triangle is a confirmed down signal, and this would be a time to sell positions that still exist in the portfolio, regardless of if they've hit their stops or not. And so in focusing on just specifically the when to buy, we're purely looking for the confirmed up signal to appear. And as the time of shooting this video, we have a new fresh confirmed up signal on the market today. Now certainly there's still some time before the market closes, and it's been a volatile day already. But in the event that we have a confirmed up signal here in the short term, this would be the appropriate signal for you to begin participating in an investment plan such as the one you'll see today. So we'll quickly discuss how the confirmed up and down signals are generated. A confirmed up signal comes into play when the price of the VectorVest composite, which is our candlestick chart up on the top screen, when the price of that composite moves up for 2 consecutive 5-day trading periods and is up from the prior day, and then is confirmed by the buy to sell ratio crossing above 1. And so I'll simply pull my graph panel out. We'll take off the MTI and the relative timing so you can more clearly see that on this day, April the 29th, 2013, certainly the buy sell ratio is above 1. All we would have to do then is simply check the price pattern and know that if it closes higher week over week for those 2 5-day trading periods, that signal would be in play, and that's how the green light was generated. For a red light or a confirmed down, it's just the opposite. The price of the composite has to fall for 2 consecutive weeks, week over week, and the buy to sell ratio confirm that action by falling below 1, as it did here on June the 5th. So that's it. It's that simple. The when to buy is going to be dictated by the confirmed up call. Now let's focus on the what to buy. VectorVest has many powerful tools available to our subscribers, but perhaps none so powerful as the Unisearch tool. In fact, we say that the Unisearch tool is the most powerful search engine ever created by man. Tonight we'll focus on a search that comes in the default search package from an add-on product called ProTrader. Now if you're a VectorVest real-time user, it's included in the real-time product purchase price. If you're either an intraday or end of day user, again, it is an add-on that you would have to purchase. However, I think you'll see after tonight's presentation, it could well justify the cost of just $495 retail. Or we do have a special offer for you today where you can try VectorVest Pro Trader for 30 days. And should you decide to keep it, you get an even better price of $395. So let's go check out the Unisearch tool. I'm going to close out of the graph, and I'm going to click on Unisearch, the tab right at the top. Over on the left, I'm going to change the sort to A to Z because I know the search that I want to identify. I know it by name. And so all I'm going to do is click on any search in the directory and then hit H on the keyboard. This will jump me down to where I can very quickly locate high CI prospects. So let's talk a little bit about the search and why it would also be included in the add-on product. The first criteria makes an awful lot of sense given the volatility of the market that we've experienced certainly as of late, and that's for stock prices to be hitting a new 52-week high. You see, it takes an awful lot of work for a stock to hit that 52-week high, and the company must be doing a lot of things right. The next parameter says that a week ago, the stock price had to be in a channel, and that channel had to be 100 days, and the height of the channel was 50% with no breakout. So it's a fairly lenient channel, but we want to see a stock basing for a long period of time, then hitting that new 52-week high. And this second line is the element, is an element of Pro Trader. The channel search is a Pro Trader element. Okay, and that's why I had to mention the special offer and things for everyone this evening. Our next criteria is that the average volume had to be greater than 20,000, and the percent volume change has to be greater than or equal to 200 above and beyond that average. 200%. So a lot of increased trading activity, huge volume increase, hitting a 52-week high, breaking out of a channel is what this search is trying to find as far as stock selection. So let's just go back to that April 29th up call. I'll simply click right on the calendar up here at the top. We'll go back to April. I'll click on the 29th, and then I'll run the search. And let's see what kind of stocks we would have found. Here we have L&L Energy, Moody Corp, MTS Systems, Activists, and so forth. So let's take a look at the DNA of these stocks on the stock graph. Best way to do that is come right up to the top, click on Graph the Top 10. Now remember, this was end of week data, so I'm going to change it to be consistent. Instead of end of day, we'll go up to end of week, and we'll just do best fit for now. And so only looking at Friday to Friday action, that's why we see a lot of the gapping and so forth that's going on in the graph. The one thing that we can clearly see is that, remember, we ran the search back in April. In fact, on April the 29th. And so the end of week data point that we would have been using for the search as far as the new high is concerned would have been the data point of April the 26th. Because remember, it's Friday to Friday to Friday when we say end of week. Here you see that beautiful basing pattern that we're looking for in that channel or consolidation, and we have exploding price. Now let me switch the graph layout to the VectorVest layout. Here we can see that relative timing has newly made its way above 1. Great sign for the stock. And we're going to add on some volume because I want you to see that surge in volume that we're beginning to see here. You can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beautiful bars there. 3 heading into the day that we would have run the search to the 29th. And so we see a great pickup in trading activity on the stock, supporting that stock price explosion to the upside. And of course the stock kept on moving up overall, particularly over the next couple of weeks. So with some good money management, we can capture a lot of that gain. Let's take a look at the next stock. Not as clear cut of a channel here, however, we do see the exploding volume at the bottom. Looks like it's really going to start to happen over the next couple of days when that search was ran on the 29th. You got to keep those dates in mind when you're looking at the end of week chart. But certainly it is bouncing around in a channel, beginning to explode up on big volume. Not as clear cut, but let's look at the next one. Again, definitely hitting that 52-week high. Coming in out of a basing channel. Of course, this is a slightly upward rising channel. And again, not as beautiful. If we're going about this in a cherry picking practice, which is also applicable to high CI prospects, we might favor some different stocks other than this one, because it's just a little bit more erratic than some of the ones we've already seen. Let's take a look at the next, just as a good comparison. This is more like what you want to see. This is Activist. Here we have that beautiful basing pattern. It's beginning to move up. It's hitting the 52-week high, and look at all the volume coming in on this stock. I mean, by and large, this is going to be your institutional type volume in trading. Let's look at the next one. All right, not a lot of data here on LOTE, so we'll go one more. And bingo, beauty. Again, nice steady consolidation pattern, moving up and beginning to see exploding volume even up until now on this particular stock. So these are the kind of stocks that high CI prospects are trying to put in your portfolio. Stocks hitting 52-week highs on big volume, breaking out of hopefully a nice consolidation pattern. Can you do better if you eyeball the charts? A lot of times you can, but for some of us, it's a challenge. And so the beauty of tonight's presentation is we're just going to let the search do the work, and we're going to buy the stocks that this search finds. So if I go back to the search itself, we're going to let VST do the job as far as how all the stocks are rank ordered. So I love that, because we're back to the grassroots of VectorVest and buying high value, safety, and timing stocks. Stocks with the best combination of relative value, relative safety, and relative timing. That exhibit all of the traits that we've already mentioned. And we're going to go about buying just one stock a day. So on 4/29, we'd buy LLEN. If I run the search as of the 30th, remembering that we already own a little piece of LLEN, we'd take the next highest available VST stock on this day. It happens to be the very first one in this case, Texas Roadhouse, TXRH. And so we're using end of day data. We're setting up our trades for the next day. We're only buying one stock at a time until we fill out a basket of 10. It's that simple. Okay, so once we fill out the basket of 10, or try to fill out our basket of 10, how are we going to manage these stocks as far as when we're going to sell them? Remember, that's the third and possibly the most important component. And so the first part of the answer there is to go back to our market timing graph. So if we just quickly pop that back open, place back on the confirmed calls, we are going to close any remaining stocks, no matter how many there are, on any confirmed down call. And so this could mean a basket of 10 stocks that you're still investing in. Along the way, we're going to manage the stocks and sell anything that comes in with a VST score of less than 1. And so if we go back to the search and just slide over to the right here a bit, here we can see that the stocks that we're going to be picking have VST scores well above 1. When that breaks down and any stock fall below a value of 1 on a VST, we'll sell it and replace it. We will replace it in this investment plan with again, by running the search as of the end of the day and taking the highest stock on this list that we don't currently own. And again, it's that simple. So in a quick recap, the when to buy is a confirmed up market signal. The what to buy is high CI prospects. We're only going to buy one a day until we fill out a basket of 10. Immediately we place our stop requirement of VST less than 1. So we're going to need VectorVest to track these stocks. And most importantly, no matter how many stocks we own, what the VST looks like when a confirmed down signal comes into play, we exit out of the entire campaign. Fair deal? Let me show you how to set up Backtester so we can show you some data and some historical perspective on how this investment plan has worked out over the years. So if I go right up to backtests, okay, here at Backtester, we'll simply click on the new button. If you don't have the new button, you may have some much bigger squares, 2 of them in the middle of the screen, and one says Backtest an idea. Either way, it'll take you to the same set of screens. If I click on the new button here, our first set of decisions is around the account settings. And so here we're going to use a lot of the default settings: $100,000 initial investment, $9.95 per trade, do not use margin, and we will be using the confirm calls, which is an auto tester requirement. So auto tester would also be very beneficial in conducting this back test. So I'm sure support will be able to set you up with a free trial to auto tester there as well, if you're interested in doing the back test for yourself. From here, we can simply click on automation rules. And what did we say we wanted to do in a confirmed up situation? Well, remember, in a confirmed up, we want to use our high CI prospect search. So I'll simply come over to the directory. I'll hit H on my keyboard, go right down to high CI prospects, and we said we'd manage these positions when the VST fell below 1. We'd go ahead and sell. So we'll go to the Stop Criteria tab. I'll go to VST. It's already set to less than 1, and it does not apply to intraday with this particular stop. So it's all based on the end of day value or score on VST for the individual stocks, which is great because a midnight cowboy can do this, right? So you'll know at the end of the day whether one of your stocks VST fell below 1, and you'd take action the following morning. From here, I'll go right up to the More Settings tab. We are going to do 10 positions in this particular investment plan. We are going to automatically replace closed positions if possible. We're only going to purchase one stock at a time, and so this is part of the beauty. Anybody can do this, right? We'll open one position per day after a confirmed up signal is received until we fill out our basket of 10 positions. Now, ICI prospects can be a very selective search, so don't be surprised if there's some days where it's not even finding any positions. It's rare, but it is possible. Our next set of selections is when entering this situation, what do I want to do? Well, really any of these are going to be okay because we're going to be coming out of a cash position. But we'll just leave it set to close any position. If I continue to scroll down, we are going to invest at the average value of the portfolio to keep things dollar weighted across all positions. So, to help in that endeavor, we'll use odd lots. I am going to limit the repurchases to 31 days. This helps us get rid of the wash sale rule violations. And it's just better to play it safe than sorry, and we'll use all the other default settings down here at the bottom. In a confirmed down situation, remember we said we want to go to cash. So that's the overriding sell on any stock that we own. We get a confirmed down, doesn't matter how good the gain is, doesn't matter what the VST score is, you're going to sell it and take those profits. All that remains is a test period and a name. So we'll go to test period. We're going to start this way back in 2003. And so I'll go to March the 21st, which was a confirmed up signal. This was the confirmed up signal that would turn out to mark the beginning of the bull rally that took us all the way into the end of 2007 before we hit the big bear of 2008, 2009. Good news for you, the viewer on this presentation, we're going to walk straight through that bear market and see how this thing holds up, because we're going to run it all the way up to current July 3rd data. If I click on the name description, we'll just call this High CI Prospects. And we'll give it a date of March the 21st. And I'll finish and run. And we'll pop this up. And one of the things I love here is it's taken off with a vengeance. It's starting right out of the gate the way you want to see it. And that is a parabolic rise on the equity curve. Of course, some of that has to do with, a lower resolution that we're using here to film the strategy of the week. But nonetheless, nice to see. Okay, and through the magic of time-lapsed photography, we now have run to completion our back test of this investment trading plan. And boy, what a beautiful curve that you see in front of you, is it not? Let's take a look at this a little more closely. If we come all the way back over here to the left, did we make money the first year? Oh, you bet we did, to the tune of about 78%. What about the next year? Well, we went from 78% to about 112%. Sure, we made money. How about the next year? Up again. We made money the year after that, and the year after that, and even the year after that. Listen, folks, this investment plan has made money 9 out of the last 10 years. The only year where it hit some stumbling was through 2011. Of course, that's everybody's tough year in the stock market. Boy, it was a really, really tough year for just about anything you did, unless you're a good option trader and like selling options. But I just love the way that this equity curve looks and feels, and the fact that it's just a money maker time in and time out. The other thing I love about this, I want to take a look at some of the reports with you. And so the first thing that we'll do, I'll click on reports at the top, and we'll go to the transactions report. One thing I'd like to point out straight away is that we have a nice mixture of price points on the stocks. Anything from, say, $3 up to $162 or more is what you'll find. And on the whole, there's a lot of decent price stocks in here so that anybody could participate. If I close this out, I'll go back to reports, and my favorite, the situational summary report. All right, so here we get another look at our equity curve. We see we have the 737% gain. That's over 71% annualized, where the VectorVest composite average annualized is 11 compared to that 71. Are we outperforming the market or what? If we scroll down here, we could get into all the different individual runs. We started off with a bang, making 82% in that first nice long run from 321 of 03 to 315 of 04. Then we get into some of the choppier times in the market. But look, the most we gave back was 8.68% in that run from April 5th to April 20th of 04. That was another really tough period in the market. And I think you're going to see that that's the worst experience we had as far as campaigns go. Look at the rest of the red numbers. Very, very small. And compare those to the black numbers that you see. Of course, that's why the equity curve is moving higher and higher. And so it's just a series of big wins from time to time and very small losses when the campaigns don't work out quite as well as we hoped. If I close this out, let's look at the numbers in the backtester. So here we see we started on March the 21st of 03, ran it all the way up to July 3rd. We had that 58.22% winning trades. Put our commission at $6,049. We're trading that commission both on the way in and on the way out. Our annualized rate of return is 71.74%. Again, our compounded rate of return 22.96, and our max drawdown of only 16. In the worst case scenario, the portfolio only pulled back a maximum 16% from any peak to any valley before it just kept going to higher ground. This is a tremendous investing plan. One of the best ones that I've seen with the fewest trading activity in a long, long time. So I really hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. It really doesn't get any simpler than this. And we hope to see you again right back here at VectorVest University for our Strategy of the Week presentations. Thanks again and have a great weekend.